How's everybody doing? Obviously, really good performance tonight. Really proud of the players. Probably had our best week of practice last week we had all year, from an energy standpoint, from a focus standpoint, from a leadership standpoint. And I told them, we can't leave it on the practice field. And I thought tonight the players did a phenomenal job of taking it from the practice field to the game field, executing consistently. We're starting to play a lot more consistent, which is good. Obviously, still got some things to clean up, but made some improvements. Probably the first time all year we didn't turn the ball over, which was really good, and we got a couple turnovers, which was great. Got some young guys in there. Last game we got some young guys in there, and they didn't finish quite way that we wanted them to. Tonight I thought they did a better job. A lot of positive. Thought the O-line did a really good job today. Obviously, we were able to run the ball, which kept us ahead of the sticks. Ali and Shell did a phenomenal job of breaking tackles and getting to the next level. But O-line did a good job of getting them started. Then I thought Grant played probably his most consistent game all year. He distributed the ball, made really good decisions. Was able to pull it and run it when needed. So really good. Really proud of these guys. Really proud of these coaches. It's hard to get a shutout in college football, man. It's really hard. So hats off to Coach Guidry and the defensive staff and the defensive players. We will enjoy this for a few more hours, enjoy the recruits we have on campus, and then get back to work tomorrow for next week. So really appreciate the fans that showed up. This is Huntington weather, man. This is who we are, man. Huntington tough. Heard strong all the way. So really appreciate the fans, really appreciate the student section. Phenomenal. Even appreciate the squirrel. It kind of led us into the scoring drive there. So a lot of good, still some things to clean up, but we can build off of this. I think we're starting to play a lot more consistent. We got to be able to build off of it and learn. So with that, I'll open up with questions.
Did the extra time help with the preparation? Did it help in closing some of those things that you've been working on?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys remember, you asked what we did during the bye week. We went back and did some, young guy development stuff, just some basic alignment, assignment, keys, reads, eye discipline, hands, feet, finishing blocks, tackling. And I think it showed up a little better today. Was it perfect? No, by no means, but it showed up a little bit. We were able to kind of get a head start on FIU, which was good. We were also able to obviously rest some guys to get them, as healthy as possible. So I thought it was productive as part of the plan, and it helped us out tonight for sure.
Coach, you mentioned the offensive line kind of paving the way for things on the ground today. What was it that you saw in them that made them so successful today? How were they able to accomplish it?
Well, it started in practice, man. Those guys came out to practice this week with a focus and intensity. They got better. They watched film. We communicated better, and I thought we did a really good job of just communicating and getting movement. Not trying to be loose, on our blocks, but getting good movement, good communication, and then obviously doing a really good job of finishing. I think that's kind of been the the missing link. You got to finish these blocks. Can't just block a guy. You got to finish. But I thought it started in practice, man. And I've said it, and you guys have heard me say it over and over and over. With unbelievable preparation, it's hard to fail. And I think with our preparation this week, it really set us up for success today.
Seemed like, especially in the running game with Rasheen and Sheldon too, there have been a lot of runs this year where you're just a tackle away, you're one-on-one and not able to slide out of it. Today they were able to get through those tackles, especially Sheldon's run. It seemed like it sort of broke FIU spirit a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if it broke their spirit. They played to the end, but I thought finally Shell kind of ran strong. He kind of like you said a couple times in the past, kind of got tripped up. I thought he ran strong. Coach Lockett did a really good job in the on the bye week of kind of talking about finishing runs on the second level, knee drive, knee lift, keeping your shoulders square, and it showed up today. Did a really good job. That's probably, I don't know, but Shell's longest run of the year maybe that he finished. And then we talked about it all week. How do we want to finish? How do we want to finish practice? How do we want to finish games? How do we want to finish class? How do we want to finish community service? Because ultimately it comes down to how you finish. Finish runs, finish plays, finish games. And I thought we did a better job of that today.
Coach, is the squirrel a walk-on, or is he going to get a scholarship?
No, actually, right now we don't know if he's going to play offense or defense. He's got cat-like quickness, really good body control, good change of direction. You saw there he kind of made the 30-yard line miss. But we got to continue to evaluate.
Is that the craziest thing you've had? Go ahead, Keith.
Coach, you talked about the defense and how much that's improved. That team that gets some chunk plays, you not only held them below that, but a shutout. How impressive is that?
Yeah, I think, for the last couple weeks, man, we've just been getting better and better and better. I know earlier in the season, everybody had us buried and gone, and we had some guys out, and things weren't clicking as well. New defense, as far as the flow and the feel of what those guys are being asked to do. But we're getting better. We're getting better. Are we perfect? No. But we're getting better. Our guys are getting better on the back end. Our discipline on the back end is getting better. Our discipline and gap control is getting better. That doesn't mean that it just carries over to next week. We got to go back to the table and start from scratch with practice habits and film study and those type of things. But I thought tonight, it's a couple weeks in a row. Our defense is really starting to play with a lot more consistency.
You mentioned the focus a little bit, and especially with all the talk of the Sun Belt Conference and things changing within Marshall Athletics. How difficult is that, especially during a time where you all aren't necessarily preparing for a game, as when that talk started? How difficult was that for the guys to maintain?
Yeah, I mean it's difficult. I mean this age group that we live, I mean they're on their phones. They hear the noise, they hear the rat poison. They read the stuff you guys write. They read the fans on the message boards of how horrible they are. They read that stuff. It's tough as a football coach to try to shelter them from that. But we just talked about it. Let's focus on the things we need to do to get the results we want. All the other stuff, it's out there. We can't hide from it. We know what's at stake. And that doesn't mean that we're looking ahead. We know what's at stake. But again, we can't do anything unless we take it one practice at a time, one day at a time, one game at a time, and continue to move in that direction. I thought our leaders did a really good job of forcing guys to, hey, let's just focus on the things we need to do to be successful this week. Then we'll reevaluate. I'm sure we're going to have some guys that, play a bunch of plays a day, got to move some guys around, all of those things. But really proud of the way the players bought into the process, understand that our culture is going to help us prepare, and then focusing on the things we need to do to be successful each week. It's going to change next week. I mean, they're a good team. We're moving in the next team. Things are going to change. Guys change, personnel change, everything. But we got to focus on the things we need to do to be successful each week.
Looked like a really tough injury for Jordan there, and you walked out there, the whole team does. How difficult is that? I know that the game's well in hand there, but that's a kid that's battled for playing time. He finally gets it and goes down with an unfortunate injury there. Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to get with the trainers to figure out exactly what it was, but anytime a player gets hurt, I think they had a couple guys that get hurt too, and that ain't what you want at all. No coach wants another player to get hurt, his player to get hurt. But I think what you saw is a team that rallied around a guy that they love, and a guy that didn't play a lot. He's been fighting for time, getting better, putting in a lot of hard work. We'll continue to pray for him, and hopefully the diagnosis is better than we think. But I think you saw what this team is about. Everybody on the sideline, offense, defense, special teams, came out there to dap him up. They even had a guy from their side, which was a former teammate of his, which was really a classy move. Come over and just tell him to keep his head up. So obviously injuries are something that's a part of the game. You don't wish it on anybody. These kids work too extremely hard to go out and play this game, and you hate to see it taken away with injuries.
When you look at Grant's performance today, obviously not a ton of big plays, but at the same time the right play, it seemed like. And he wasn't forcing anything. He wasn't making bad decisions. He was just taking what the defense gave him. Is that part of his maturation process? Yeah,
I think he's getting better. I think we talked about one of the keys to the game was just being efficient in the pass game. That's throw, catch, check it down when you need to, run when you need to. Allow us to stay ahead of the sticks. And he did that today, which that goes to the O-line, that goes to the receivers. Guys got to be in the right areas. Guys got to catch the ball, get vertical. Our pass game is starting to have some consistency, which is what we need, moving forward. And I think Grant did a really good job today of managing, the situations. When he needed to throw it and drive it in there, he did. When he needed to check it down, he did. When he needed to, take off and run, he did. And I think, that's what we are expecting him to do. He's got to continue to get better each week, and I think that's starting to happen. Good?
Thank Thanks,
Hey,
Coach.
thank
Good.
you, Coach.
I appreciate you guys, man, and enjoy Halloween. Appreciate all the fans that came out tonight again. Really appreciate all the recruits that are here. Phenomenal atmosphere tonight in Huntington weather, and we love it. See you guys next week. Go Herd.